I'm Ngan. Today, our topic is about managing human resources. With the organization structure in place, managers have to find people to fill the jobs that have been created or to remove people from jobs if business circumstances require. That's where human resource management, short HRM, comes in. It's an important task that involves having the right number of the right people in the right place at the right time. In this chapter, we'll look at the process managers use to do just that. In addition, we'll look at some contemporary HRM issues facing managers. HRM is important for three reasons. First, it can be a significant source of competitive advantage. Second, it's an important part of organizational strategies. Finally, the way organizations treat their people has been found to significantly impact the organizational performance. The external factors that most directly after HRM process are the economy, labor unions, legal environment, and demographic trends.
Well, let's continue with the identifying and selecting competent employees. Well, every organization needs people to do whatever work is necessary for doing what the organization is in business to do, and how do they get those people, and more importantly, what can they do to ensure that they get the competent and talented ones. The first phase of the human resources management process involves three tasks. The first one is human resources planning. The second one is recruitment and recruitment. The last one is the selection. So, what is the definition of the human resources planning? Well, human resources planning is the process by which managers ensure that they have the right number and kinds of capable people in the right places and at the right times. Through planning, organizations avoid certain people shortages and surpluses. Human resources planning entails two steps like assessing current human resources, and the last steps is meeting future human resources needs. Well, for the recruitment and recruitment, if employees vacancies exist, managers should use the information gathered through job analysis to guide them in recruitment. That is locating, identifying, and attracting capable applicants. On the other hand, if human resources planning shows a surplus of the employees, manager may want to reduce the organization's workforce through recruitment. And the selection is like once you have a pool of candidates, the next step in the human resources management process is selection. Screening job, like it is a screening job applicants to ensure that the most appropriate candidates are hired. Like the manager need to select carefully since hearing errors can have the significant implications. And well,
Hi, I'm Thư and I'm going to explain the different types of orientation and training. Orientation is important because it results in an outsider and insider transition that makes the new employee feel comfortable and fairly well adjusted. Lowers the likelihood of poor work performance and reduces the probability of an early surprise resignation. The two types of training are general and specific. This training can be provided using traditional training methods or by technology-based methods. So this is the end of my part. Now my teammate will continue. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Lin, and I'll be continuing the presentations with part 3, Contemporary Issues of Human Resources. In this title, we will have two big parts. The first one is managing downsizing, and the second is controlling human resources costs. So, let's begin with the first part. Downsizing is the planned elimination of jobs in an organization. When organizations have too many employees and operations, one option for improving profits is to eliminate some of those excess workers. During the most current economic recessions, many well-known companies like Boeing, Dell, Nokia have downsized. Managers that manage a downsized workplace by descriptions in the workplace and in employees' personal life should be expected. Move to another definitions in this part. Managing sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is a serious issue in both public and private sectors organizations. Sexual harassment isn't a problem in just the United States, but it is a global issue. Sexual harassment charges have been filed against employers in other countries such as Japan, New Zealand, Australia, and Mexico. Discussions of sexual harassment cases often focus on the large award granted by a court. There are other concerns for employers such as unpleasant, oftentimes hostile work environment and undermines workers' abilities. Sexual harassment is any unwanted actions or activity of a sexual nature that explicitly or implicitly affect on an individual's employment, performance, or work environment. Many problems associated with sexual harassment involve determining exactly what constitutes this illegal behavior. The EEOC has added that sexual harassment can include offensive remarks about a person's sex. It's vital that all employees be educated on sexual harassment matters. Organizations need to be ensured that no retaliatory actions are taken against a person who has charged harassment, especially in the light of U.S. Supreme Court ruling that broaden the definitions of retaliation. Another definition in this part is workplace romance. Workplace romance can potentially become big problems for organizations. The standard used by judicial court have been workplace sexual conduct is prohibited sexual harassment if it is unwelcome. If it's welcome, it still may inappropriate, but usually not unlawful. And the last one, managing work-life balance and family-friendly benefits. Managing work-life balance. Employees don't leave their families and personal life behind when they come to work. Organizations are becoming more attuned to the fact that employees have sick children, elder parents who need special care, and other family issues that may require special arrangement. Benefits that accommodate employees' need for work-life balance. They have introduced programs such as on-site child care, summer days camps, flex time, job sharing, time off for school function, telecommuting, and part-time employment. Move to the second part, controlling human resources costs. Organizations are controlling human resources costs by controlling employees' health care costs through employees' health initiatives, encouraging healthy behavior and penalizing unhealthy behaviors, and controlling employee pension plans by eliminating or severely limiting them. So that is the end of my part.
Now, let's move to case application 1. Why does human resource management represent one of the major challenges faced by foreign companies entering the Chinese market? Because in recent years, the labor cost has increased significantly while cheap labor used to be an advantage in doing business in China. So therefore, it is more difficult to hiring employees. What are the main issues expat managers generally face? They may have difficulties adapting to the culture, communicating with local employees. It will take time for them to get used to the environment and perform at their best. Why don't foreign companies simply hire local staff instead of reaching out for foreign managers? If foreign companies hire local staff, they have to put an effort in training them in order to meet their standard. Furthermore, this process is really expensive and time consuming, so they intend to hire foreign managers to work for the company. And the last question, what advice would you give companies such as Mars on their HRM policies? In my opinion, the company can recruit laborers from those countries with young population and offer good allowance to attract more talented employees and keep them work for the company as long as they can.
Hi, I'm Thư, and let's move to the case application 2. The first question is, many managers say that evaluating an employee's performance is one of their most difficult tasks. So why do you think they feel this way, and what can organizations do to make it an effective process? When giving a performance evaluation, the employer has the task of letting the employees not only to know what tasks they do well on, but also where their shortcomings are. By doing this, it gives the company better knowledge of where each individual's employee stands in terms of deciding what bonus to give or other incentives. Praising the employees on a job well done is easy because you are only going to make the employee feel good about themselves. However, giving negative feedback is not an easy task at all. The employees can take it personal and become bitter about it, or they can use it as a learning experience and try to improve in a shortcoming. So the next question is, what's your impression of the color coded system suggested by the former CEO as a store department supervisor? How would you have approached that? So to me, I think it's unprofessional. I think that hiring how employees within an organization are doing is unfair. And eliminates the company's ability to grow. I think it's the company's job or the HRMs to evaluate the employee's performance. As a supervisor, I think I would have spoken with each of the employees individually and let them know that what the color coded system were and where I felt they stood in the matter. And I will also give them helpful criticism on how they would improve their performance. The last question is, what could BC Penny executives have done to make this process more effective? So I feel that they had done this as more of an evaluation of the employees in a quarterly manner or more consistent manner, and given the employees the chance to improve, it would have been much more effective. By not giving the ones in red color a chance to improve, I feel like they cheated them out of a job. So this is the end of my part. Now my teammate will continue. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ngon. Today our topic is about creating and managing teams. Many organizations have made the move to restructure work around teams rather than individuals. Why? What do these teams look like? And how can managers build effective teams? We will look at answers to this question throughout this chapter. And before we can understand teams, however, we must first need to understand some basics about groups and groups behavior. A group is two or more interacting and interdependent individuals who come together to achieve specific goals. Formal groups are work groups defined by the organization structure and have designated work assignments and specific tasks direct at accomplishing organizational goals. Informal groups are social groups. Research shows that groups develop through 5 stages. First, forming stage consists of 2 phases: joining the group and defining the group purpose, structure, and leadership. The storming stage is one of intra-group conflict over who will control the group and what will the group be doing. The norming stage is when close relationships and cohesiveness develop as norms are determined. The performing stage is when the group members begin to work on the group's task, and the final step is the adjourning stage. This is when the group prepares to disband.
So let's move to the group performance and certification. Well, why are some groups more successful than the others? Why do some groups achieve high levels of performance and high levels of the group members certification than others do not? And the answers are complex but include variables such as ability of the group's member, size of the group, the level of conflict, and the internal pressure on members to conform the group's norms. Well, as we can see that the major factors that determine group performance and certification. So let's look at each. The first factor is external condition imposed on a group. Well, work groups are affected by the external condition imposed on it, such as the organization's strategy, authority relationship, formal rules and regulations, availability of resources, employee selection criteria, the performance management system and culture. And the last one is the general physical layout of the group's workspace. The second factor is the group member resources. Well, a group's performance potential depends to a large extent on the resources each individual brings to the group. The resources including knowledge, ability, skills, and personality traits. And they determine what members can do and how effectively they will perform in the group. The next one is the group structure, which like work group aren't an organized crowd. They have an internal structure that shape members' behavior and influence group performance. The structure defines role, norm, conformity, status system, group size, group cohesiveness, and leadership. This is the six aspects of the group structure. And the next factor that affects to the group performance and certification is a group task. Well, as a group performance certification model shows the impact that group process have on group performance and member certification is modified by a task group the group is doing. The more specially is complexity and independence on a task that influence a group effectiveness. Tasks are either simple or complex. Simple tasks are routine and standardized, and complex tasks tend to be a novel, non-routine. It appears that the more complex the task, the more a group benefits from group discussion about alternative work methods.
Hi, I'm Thư and I'm going to define teams and best practices in influencing team performance. Characteristics of group work include a strong, clearly focused leader, individual accountability, purpose acts the same as the broader organization's mission, individual work product, efficient meetings, effectiveness measured by influence on others, and the ability to discuss, design, and delegate together. Characteristics of teams include shared leadership roles, individual and mutual accountabilities, a specific team purpose, collective work products, meetings with open-ended discussion and active problem solving. Performance measured directly on collective work product and the ability to discuss, design, and do real work. There are four types of work team. The first one is problem solving, self-managed, cross-functional, and virtual. So the characteristic of an effective team include clear goals, relevant skills, mutual trust, unified commitment, good communication, negotiation skills, appropriate leadership, and internal and external support. So that's the end of my part. Now my teammate will continue. Thank you.
Now, let's move on to the last part, current challenges in managing teams. The challenges of managing social global teams can be seen in the group member resources, especially the diverse cultural characteristic, the group structure, especially conformity, status, social loafing, cohesiveness, group processes, especially with communication and managing conflict, and the manager's role in making it all work. With the emphasis on teams on today's environment, managers need to recognize that people don't automatically know how to be part of a team or to be an effective team member. Like any behavior, team members have to learn about a skill and then keep practicing and reinforcing. In building team skills, managers must view their role as more of being a coach and developing others to create more committed, collaborative, and inclusive teams. Managers need to understand the patterns of informal connections among individuals within the groups, because those informal social relationships can help or hinder the group's effectiveness.
Hello, my name is Lynn and I will continue the presentation with the case application 2, teaming up for takeoff. So, first questions, what types of teams do the employee teams appear to be? Explain. First, self-managing team, group of employees working together who are asked to be self-accountable for all or the most aspect of their task. Next, managed team, share and rotate on skills that they have, supportive on the managerial task. They both responsible for their outcomes and in control of their decision-making process. And the last one, self-managing team. The members of the team tend to keep costs down and maintain high productivity without outside management. Move to the next questions. As this story illustrated, sometimes it may take a long time for a team to reach its goals. As a manager, how would you motivate a team to keep on trying? As a manager, I will make more effective, open, and honest communications with my team. Engage with my team, build a relationship with my team so that they can feel comfortable to discuss any issues. Therefore, my team will easily solve the problem with the guide of me. The third question, what role do you think a team leader needs to play in this type of setting? Explain. Team leader needs to performing a group member certification role. This is because the team leader needs to consider that the group member had the opportunity of offer the idea or not. And the last questions. Using Exhibit 1310, what characteristic of effective team would this team need? Explain. The characteristic of effective teams that Boeing 737 needs is unified commitment because it consists of mental and physical energies and group spirit. This can exhibit an loyalty and dedication to the team that they are willing to do whenever it takes to help their team to succeed. So that is the end of my part.